Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, would you like to put this plan into motion? Guys and girls, never use 1,000 words when 50 will do.
Your goal is to create happy customers who then create other happy customers.
Oh, congratulations!
Here's what I've learned. The best of the best have got the problem.
We're selling, going, gone! So congratulations. Let's have a look at the facts.
What's your goal for the next 6 months?
Archie Mantsos is one of Harcourts' best operators in the business, in commissions, in auctions, in marketing. He treats the listing presentation as a science, and you're in for a PhD workshop on how to bulletproof your listing presentation.
On track to write 1.4 million. How do you, to be writing those sorts of numbers in Harcourts, you must be one of, like, #1 in Victoria?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, let's drill down, because to me, you are probably a vendor paid marketing machine. You're one of the best in the business at getting vendor paid advertising. But you said to me off camera, Tom, it's not about vendor paid advertising. It's all about a listing presentation, and it's actually more than that. It's about you being positioned as the trusted advisor, professional. Let's talk about the listing presentation, Archie. At what point do you start talking about the value of the home?
I'll start talking about the value of the home towards the end of the presentation.
Right. What are the things that you talk about before that?
So the first thing I do with an opening statement is really gain permission politely to gain control and set the tempo of the meeting.
Right.
So I think you've got to gain permission to gain control. I'll cover off on the property highlights. I'll talk about the target market. I'll talk about...
So when you say target market, the people that most likely will buy this house?
Yes, I don't believe in going ad hoc. I think there's a plan and a formula. There's a bit of an analysis required. What are the specific final points and features of your home? Who are the likely buyers to pay top dollar? Where do we get them from? And that will lead later into credibility about VPA.
Okay, so you talk about the target market. What other things do you talk about?
I'll talk about how buyers make decisions in the current market. How do they buy? I think you've got to qualify what you say.
Right.
Okay, so it's not a sales pitch, but it's real information.
So how do they buy? What's typically the sort of thing?
Well, buyers, for example, buyers like to buy a home that has competition. And that might sound a little bit funny, but by competition I mean like when there's 30 groups coming through an open house. They don't like the price of competition creates, Tom, but what they like to know is somebody else likes to buy it for the same reasons you do, because they're making such a big emotional financial decision. We're at this cafe now. There's 2 cafes here. One's busy, one's not. Tom, which one are you going to go to?
The one that's busy.
Okay. Because there's social proof there.
Correct.
That there's going to be a good grade of coffee or good food, and obviously you're going to get good service. So how much more important is that social proof when they're making such a big emotional financial decision?
Okay, that's fantastic, because Archie, what you've brought in a psychological proof called, in the great book Influenced by Dr. Robert Cialdini, he talks about social proof as being a major driver of human behaviour. And what you say you're doing is you're bringing up in stories, unpacking these concepts, because I feel like they're leading to something, aren't they?
They are.
Okay, what else are you covering? This is great, Archie.
So we'll cover off on how buyers make decisions in the marketplace. We're going to cover off on something called an emotional timeline. And what I talk to the vendor about is that there's been a sequence of events that occur when the buyer pays top dollar and secures a home. Whether it's by private sale and they make a knockout offer, or whether it's they competitively beat somebody at auction and they bid very hard. So
I want, just say it again. There's a sequence of events that happen when a buyer pays an emotional price.
And secures a home.
And secures a home.
So there's a sequence of events that occur. Okay, and I run through those sequence of events and make them understand how it builds from the first appointment to an emotional engagement with the property. So we change the psyche from initially a buyer thinking, they'll go and look at, for example, week 1, they'll go and look at 8 homes. They'll shortlist 8 homes. And the premise there is which one's best value for money based on my general criteria. So it's the interest level. They'll shortlist 2 or 3 homes and come back a second week. And the second week really becomes a decision stage that we want this particular home out of the 3.
Yeah.
Once they make the decision, they will come back one more time, which is the 3rd time, and that is the visualisation appointment. And that visualisation appointment is when they bring their kids pick their rooms. mum and dad might be looking at the kitchen or the improvements. They might bring a family member who has bought real estate before and will give that third party approval. But what they're doing is they're visualising living here the next 5 or 6 years. At that point, they're completely emotionally immersed, and it's from that point onwards that the emotion goes up, and so does the price along with the emotion. So you've got to replicate that sequence of events from what's the best value for money to I really got to have this. Archie, Jan and I really love this home. What do we have to pay to stop the process?
Okay, so that is pretty much the way I think that I've gone through buying a property myself, the home that I live in. And I think that what you're doing there, Archie, is you're educating a vendor the psychology and mindset of a buyer and being transparent with them. Can I ask you, how does that taking them through that journey helps you in your next steps to the presentation?
Okay. If that's the way people pay top dollar, if the ultimate buyer goes through a process of emotional investment and engagement, then the selling process, when we analyse selling strategy options, must follow that psyche.
Correct.
Now, so we need a process, we need a selling strategy that enables us to take a buyer through a journey, an emotional journey, a process.
You need to mirror, the seller needs to mirror the buyer's journey.
Exactly.
So explain what you prescribe to people for them to get that premium.
That concludes the free version of the video. To get the full interview plus all the tools and templates, join Real Estate Gym.